Hello, hello, everybody. Happy
Good
Friday.
morning. Happy
Good morning,
Friday.
Estee. Hey, good morning. I'm Gigi Fusco-Mies. I am the Director of Community and Donor Relations for 3D Theatricals. And on behalf of my entire team at 3DT, we want to welcome you today to this session of 3D+U. I'm so excited. This is the first time we've had this fabulous person with us today. I think you're going to be in for just an amazing time. So Estee, they're all yours.
Brilliant. Hello, and welcome, friends. I'm Estee. First, let's just get some spatial things. This is a guided, cued, improvisational movement exploration. This isn't, I hesitate calling it a dance class because there's no choreography here. There's no technique per se in regard to like, you align your body for a pirouette. There's none of that stuff. It's more moving through sensations and images and guided ideas and finding a place where you can open yourself up to letting your body express itself in all the ways that it can, functionally, creatively, emotionally. And so we wanted, if you have the luxury of space, I here was able to clear my floor. It doesn't matter what kind of floor you have, but if you do have a hardwood floor or vinyl floor, socks are great. I have my pair of socks, a long sleeve shirt, or something to cover your arms, especially if you're like either cold or if you want to avoid a rug burn or something. If you are rolling around, which we will be, you can start to like pad up your skin in that way. So yeah, my recommendation, socks. I'm going to paste a playlist into the chat for some music guidance. For the majority of this, it'll just be like, we'll sync it up, play and go and move through our stuffs. And there'll be a few exercises as we build and as we grow, where I'll ask you to switch a couple songs. So we'll get some flavors of different vibes, different things going on and different ways to play. So I'll give us a moment to prepare that. As I was setting up, I was heating up my tea and the kettle's ready. So I just got to do a quick pour, bring my tea over, and we'll get going. One more time, I'm going to paste as we have, it looks like Karen is coming into audio. I'm just going to paste this playlist one more time. It is on Spotify. We'll take this time now. If you don't have Spotify, you can download it free on your smartphone, and that can take like a minute or two. So let's go ahead and start to sync all that stuff up. Find some socks or a long shirt, clear some space for you to roll around. We start in an X pose on your back, making an X. So if you want to measure that, go right for it. And we'll meet back in like a minute. So my headphones are still in and you can still hear me. But no, so because this isn't a choreographed experience, it's because this isn't like call and response or follow me, you can chat me anytime you need to. If you're confused about something or need to hear a cue or a visualization or the thing that we're focusing on, if you need to hear that again, you can always type in the chat, and you can send that to me either privately. If you select Estee, it'll have my name there, or you can send it to everyone. So that's just up to you. Great, so I'm gonna go ahead and sync up the playlist. It's called Ebb and Flow, after the name of the workshop. And another thing is, I won't be doing everything. I'll be guiding some things and I'll be with you with some stuff. But if you feel comfortable having your cat turned on in your space, I can also, appreciate the artistry that you're creating. If you feel safe or empowered to do so, know that you never have to do any of it. It's all just a guide for you. All right, so we've got Ebb and Flow. It starts with the first song called Cold War by Cautious Clay. Have it on a separate device so that whatever you're playing on won't be interfering with the audio that's coming through your video. Hi, Milena. I'm just an invitation one more time. We're about to sync some music before we get moving and grooving. So if you want to pull this up on Spotify, if you feel comfortable enough to have your camera turned on, this is less choreography. There's no choreography here at all. So this isn't about form, but it's about allowing your artistry to come forward. All right, Cautious Clay, first song, Cold War. We sync it up in 3, 2, 1, hit play. So we have this first song going. I'm connecting it to my tooth. And then come into X pose. Find a space. If you have the space wide enough to lie down on your back, and create an X with your body. You might take like a few wiggles, adjustment of your wardrobe, of the things that you're wearing, get yourself comfortable and take up a lot of space. And take a big breath in through your nose, filling up your belly. And open your mouth, big exhale. Allowing yourself to drop into your body again. Fill up your lungs, expand the sides of the ribs. Let out a little sigh. One more just like that, softening the skin on the back body. Fill on up. Little sigh out. And now seal your lips and start to breathe naturally. Observing the natural rise and fall of the belly. Taking notice of the kidney space at the back of the ribs, how they puff into the ground as you expand the inhalation. And as that kidney space slightly hugs the spine on the exhalation, creating a little bit of muscular support along the back. And keep your awareness, your observation of that area. Inhale, puffing the back ribs, the kidney space into the ground. And then a slight engagement of the spine of the abdominals as you exhale. And start to make sound through your nose with engagement in the back of your throat, like you're heating up the steam of your breath to clean your glasses. The sound of an oceanic wave from the back of your throat. And the breath in and out of the nose. And so start to notice the skin on your back body and all the points in contact with the earth. The back of the knuckles, the tips of your elbows and shoulders, the rounded part of your skull at the back, the occiput, blades of the shoulders, and feel the natural swoop and curve in the low spine and the middle spine, the weight of your hips and thighs, ankles, feet, mushing, getting softer, surrendering into the ground. Almost like ooze or oil. Feeling yourself, yes, connected to the ground, but also the malleability of being able to move in any direction, to melt and sway and drip. And so we'll take on 3-part breathing. Open your mouth, release all of your stale air, get empty. Take a slow breath into your belly and pause, softening your muscles. Take another sip in to fill the sides of your ribs, the front of your heart. Pause there. Another sip to fill all the way up to the very crown of your head and hold. Open your mouth wide and empty from top to bottom. Again, 3 parts. Inhale to your belly and hold. Take another sip into your heart. The biggest gulp all the way to fill to the top of your head and hold the breath there. Open the mouth wide, exhale. Inhale into belly. What do you want? Another sip into your heart. What do you need? The 3rd sip into the head. What do you deserve? And then let that settle in, exhale. And then this is a new moment, a new opportunity to check in. Inhale to your belly. What do I want? Another sip into my heart. What do I need? Biggest sip, biggest gulp to the crown of the head. What do I deserve? And then clear space to welcome that exhale. Do that 2 more times on your own and we'll start to move. Inhaling into what you want. Calling in what you need. inviting that which you deserve, the things that are rightfully yours. And the exhalation is an offering, a clearing of space to bring that stuff in. One more round, belly, pause. Heart, hold. Crown of head, suspend. Open the mouth, exhale. Find regular, smooth, natural breathing. But I invite you, as we start to move and explore these intuitive, creative textures and visuals, that you continue checking in with what you want in every moment, what you need, and what you deserve. That might come in the form of shape ideas and where your body just wants to move naturally. That might come with you making sound out of your mouth. Since you're muted, make as much friggin' sound as you want. You can scream, you can laugh, you can cry. The voice is such a powerful tool, as a lot of you already know. You never need my permission to say or speak or chant or scream or howl or laugh and cry and shout. All the things, it's all good. Let yourself be free. Mind, body, and spirit. All right, you're lying down and you're in an open patch of moss. Notice the vibrancy of the color greens. Perhaps patches that are a little dry, some brown or some darkness in the moss. And as moss grows, it creates little hills and little valleys. Begin to observe the areas underneath the back skin that might feel a little more elevated, like you might feel the imbalance of one hip feeling a little higher than the other. Moss typically is cool, a little wet to the touch as it sits at the bottom of the forest floor. And keeping everything below your collarbones heavy and anchored. So that includes your shoulders, your arms, your trunk, and your legs. They're heavy and anchored. Begin to explore imprinting the shape of your skull into the moss. And so you start to gently, really slowly, like millimeter by millimeter, transferring the weight side to side. And the neck will start to oscillate. And really, there's no wrong way to move here. Just simply allowing yourself to explore. Move really slowly. But then observe as you start to imprint different parts of your skull into the moss, how the pressure or the texture underneath the head changes. Do you feel temperature changes? Maybe some areas of the moss feel cooler to the touch, or a little bit more damp or wet. And so there's also weight in the head. Head is heavy, noticing which parts maybe create a deeper groove in the moss. All the while still breathing and keeping the awareness in. Maybe the ears touch the sides of the chin. And still keeping the trunk heavy. Start to explore the shoulders. They can shimmy individually, together. So just the head. The neck is starting to move. The shoulders have started to create some relationship to the ground. Still maintaining the weight of the back of your hands on the ground. The back of the elbows continue to start drawing space. Explore. So nothing lifts just yet. You're just wiggling and exploring. Again, nothing in the feet. Ribs and hips quiet. Just the shoulders, the back of the hands, the elbows, the head, the neck. You can tuck the chin. You can crane the chin up so that the crown of the head comes to the ground and there's a bridge in your neck. Just be gentle that we don't put pressure in the neck or that we continue to roll the head. Now, only 3 points that can lift off the ground are your hands, your wrists, and your neck. Keep your shoulders, keep your elbows grounded. but allow the arms to move. They swim and find textures. The fingers can start to carve space like a flamenco dancer, like a tutter. No worries if you're unfamiliar with those references of dance styles, but if you are, start to explore segmenting each finger in different ways. And now start to allow the ribs to get involved, but still just the hands are lifting. And as the ribs get involved, you can start to lift the shoulders. Shoulders, hands, elbows stay pinned. And as you start to invite the hips, the knees will lift. Keeping the feet grounded. Maybe you start to explore more of the pressure into the moss from the hips. You start to roll around. So we're carving space, allowing the connection to the earth and the moss to continue drawing all these imprints. And keep yourself moving. Keeping the fullness of the breath, stay like this, inviting more of the shoulders to dance. Let's see, beautiful. More of the hips to dance. Hips stay heavy. The feet can start to play. And so as the feet lift, the hips are heavy. And so maybe one foot can start to trace space and shapes into the sky. Still keeping the relationship of the hips creating grooves. So again, there's no right or wrong. Just simply allowing your body to translate the cues. And so we still keep a heaviness of the trunk and the ground, but the head can lift. A leg and arm can lift. Finding the places where we can shift weight, sliding, twirling. And so we'll call this like level 1 energy, like level 1 height, where everything still remains pretty close to the ground, exploring all the ways you can roll on a shoulder, lift a leg, and then keeping the trunk heavy. Start to explore like medium range, where the limbs can start to come off the ground, but they don't truly fully extend up, but they can extend out laterally. So maybe exploring shapes like a baby would, you can grab onto your foot and play in between. So more medium range that could even lift you up onto your hips. When we start to play medium range, the head can initiate different movements as you play relationship onto the ground. Allowing the breath to inform, and notice, do you find that you lift on the inhales? Do you fall on the exhalations? Still keeping things medium range, still only allowing the hips to stay grounded. Everything else can have more freedom of moving, of lifting, but the hips front and back stay rooted to the ground. Just a few more moments in medium range. Keeping the hips heavy, moving through straddle shapes. And so now keeping a medium setting, you can start to lift the hips off the ground and play more with the feet. Transferring weight between hands and feet, allowing everything to commune. And so as we start to move in this medium range, we start to invite an element of blue. A fluidity, a quality of water, and the kind of resistance that you would feel if you were moving these shapes in water. So allow a little of your own body's resistance, a little of that weight of gravity, the support of the earth, to move a little slower. And still, there's all the ways to play from medium range. We're also building heat. You're likely starting to warm up the tissues. I'm already getting a little sweaty. Continue playing like that medium range in water. Maybe 2 feet on the ground, one hand on the ground. Taking up space. And so, in medium range, slowly start to come up onto 2 feet, and the hands will start to drag, folding over the body, over the legs. Maybe taking off layers of any excess clothing. I just took my beanie off, my head's getting hot. But so we're in this, like, I like to think of that image of Mowgli in the like cartoon Disney Channel version, like starting to crawl on the ground, finding all the different ways you can play with weight in the pads of the fingers, maybe playing with the sides of the forearms. Again, there's a whole universe and a vast canvas to play within your body and all the different ways it can functionally move and creatively move. Continue diving into this exploration, just a few more moments of water, of blue, of that heaviness in the medium range, that weighted resistance. Lovely. Start to come a little further up. Feet about hips distance. Bend your knees and slowly start to roll up. Take your time. Beautiful. At the top, lift your chin, inhale. Exhale, bend your knees and melt slowly. The belly peels onto the thighs, the chest, the ribs, the head. Keep the knees bent and roll up again. All right, officially I've started to break a sweat. Layers are coming off. Slowly roll up. Exhale, bend the knees and slowly roll yourself down. We'll do that 2 more times. Slow spinal segmentation. Inhale, undulate the way up. Exhale, bend the knees, melt. Heavy in the joints. At the last second, the hips lift. Last one, slowly roll up. Inhale. Exhale, slowly lower. Walk your hands out into a downward facing dog shape. It's like an upside down V or like the frame of an A without the center cross. Now, the legs don't have to be straight. The heels do not have to touch the ground, but there is energy in your heels pressing down and back. There is energy in your hands pressing forward and down. Breathe in, breathe out. Take an inhale. Exhale. Step your right foot forward towards your right thumb and reach your right arm towards the sky. You're in a lunge twist. Some bodies might need extra support. You can come onto the back knee softly, and that might take a little extra pressure out of the shoulder. So choose the version that works for you. A few cycles of breath here. And let's see if, for those of you that had your cameras turned on, it just gives me a way to connect. If you're comfortable with that, if you feel safe. 1 more breath in. There's no pressure at all to have any of it turned on. As you exhale, if you're not there already, come onto your knee. And if it's available, bend your back knee and reach back. This might be where you stay. Some bodies might be able to make contact on the outside of the foot. Once you're there, find a pull from your arm, a kick from your leg, and melt the hips low. Moving open through the heart. Breathe in. Breathe out. As you're ready, release the toes. Come on back to plant the palms and then slide the right foot back into a plank pose. Shoulders over your wrists with the tiny bend in the elbows, and then puff through your upper back. Breathe in. Exhale, lift your hips, downward facing dog. Breathe in through your nose. Take up a lot of space in your lungs. Sigh out of the mouth. 1 more like that. Breathe in. Open your mouth. Look forward, step your left foot forward to your left thumb into lunge twist. Left arm to the sky. Find your breath. Again, if you need to take this down a notch to decrease some of the intensity, you have the back knee available. Either way, lift your chest, extend out of the bottom shoulder. 1 more breath in. If you're not there already, start to come down onto your back knee gently. An option to capture the back foot in a quadricep stretch. So there's equal pull of your bicep on the left and a kick of your foot on the right. Those 2 points of compression allow for a deeper tensile load in the right thigh. 1 more breath in. And all that means is just, biomechanical terms for a juicy stretch. Breathe in. Big exhale. Gently, without slingshotting, release your foot. Plant your palms and then slide your left foot back to plank. A little bit of stability work, a little bit of belly work. Slide the right leg towards your right knee, elbow, and then slide back, little mountain climbers. Slide and back, just 25 seconds, smooth and controlled. Exhale, inhale, slide back, heart reaches forward. Exhale, left knee to your elbow. Inhale, stretch back. Exhale, right. Firm the hands into the ground. Inhale, stretch. Exhale, pull. Inhale, stretch. 4 more slow. You're almost there. I know we're burning up. We're heating the body. Essential for allowing our creative intuition to be magnetized and vitalized. Last one. Exhale, right. Inhale, left. Press in. Come onto your knees and sit your booty back. Take a child's pose. Good work. Great work, friends. Stay here in this shape. Take a few cycles of breath. Smooth, deep breathing. You have the option to sigh out of your mouth if you'd like to release any excess heat or kind of let that settle. I like to think of this as a snow globe moment. We took a pretty hefty amount of time warming up the body, getting in, starting to sweat a little bit. So let that energy, that dust, that effervescence settle. 2 more cycles here, friends. Beautiful. 1 more. Big breath in. Open your mouth, exhale. Beautiful. Use your hands to slowly roll yourself up and come up to sitting on your heels. Lovely. So we'll start to play and continue going on to, bye honeys, my roommates are just leaving for the day. But we're about to move through some other visualizations and start to use all levels. We haven't quite played with our next level yet, but we're gonna build there. Okay, so come up to standing and find your feet about hips distance with a pretty like juicy bend into your knees, yeah? And so you wanna feel that from your hips up, you're like a slinky. From your hips up, you're like anywhere that your foundation moves, your upper body will start to sway. So that's your first image. Your second action, you imagine like your kittens, if you have a cat, they're making biscuits, you know? So you wanna start to play with the articulation of your feet. So you have like this energy in your feet and the relationship of how every little undulation starts to make your slinky move in all directions. So it starts with the ground, and if it helps you, whatever vibration is coming out of the playlist, if you're using it, start to use that music and you can start to move in textures. You can stay with green in the feet, make your little kitty biscuits in your feet and find your slinky on top. And then you can start to move. It might look a little weird. Again, this is not about how it looks. You might even close your eyes if you feel comfortable there and just allow those textures. It's playtime. Keep it gentle at first. So you make little biscuits with the feet. And then on top of all those undulations, feel every little bit of pressure of the foot. Give the weight of the upper body a different place to go. The head and neck involves. Beautiful, Ariana. Keep that going. And so stay with that same slinky biscuit, but in medium range with water. So it opens up a little bit more and you start to find ways to shift. You might even lose your balance and play with like speeds. Know that you always have the ground. So if you have balance or trust issues with balance, try to look out around the horizon line every time. So keep that slinky going. And as you start to tip more energy, the slinky starts to inform where the biscuits go. Yeah, so sometimes the slinky gets really heavy on top and then the feet have to kind of pitter patter and catch it. Nice, keep some buoyancy in the knees. Gorge, Milena. Keep that going. The head and neck can get involved as well. Green in the feet, there's all the textures that you're leaving on the ground in your moss. The hips and the body, at the hips, we have water and there's fluidity there. The slinky on top, imagine it red. So you have green at the bottom. It has a sense of weight, groundedness. You have water in the center, fluid, stable, malleable, mutable. And then you have a bounce, upper body that's red, that moves according to momentum. Just last 30 seconds, keep playing. Nice, all the different ways the joints can move in relationship, head, toes. Thank you. Beautiful. 4, gorge Gretchen. 3, 2, swoop the arms up, take a big stance with the feet, inhale. Exhale, bring your palms together at your heart, and then just let them drop down at your sides. Close your eyes if you're comfortable with that. Take a little bend in your knees, and in this offering with your palms facing forward, it's a position of anatomical neutrality. So we just kind of took all of this information, we just like input data into the system. And so regardless of what you believe, I do this type of work often in somatic works, and this type of body movement, body freedom, body exploration has a capacity to heal us and to empower us in a very, very deep way. So continue to allow yourself, like, fuck boundaries, fuck the things that limit you, say no, say heck no to all the things that come up against you, and let yourself be free. And then we take these little pauses to implement that into the nervous system. A message of trust, a message of creativity, and a message of support from within. So be it without. Deep breath in. Open your jaw, exhale. Alrighty. So you'll find a space where we stay in green. We stay in green with the hands and the feet, which means that you're in more of a tabletop position. The knees can play. The hips, the spine stay in blue. We don't get into this like bouncy red at all for this. So we stay on the lower 2 levels. Malleability in the ground, but up above has like freedom, a high and low. There can be weight to move into freedom. So you want to play with weight and fluidity in all directions, staying in the first 2 levels. We'll play for about the length of this song and take a little stretch break before we go in. Here we go. Start to move and breathe. Again, there's no rules here. There's no right or wrong. You just play between blue, water, medium range. And maybe it starts to twirl a little bit, spiral. Press yourself through, even like reverse tabletop. Back bending, swaying, crawling. And now you don't have to stay in both parts. If you get interested in green again, it's available as you started. And you can find those spirals, those ways to bring in all types of green, weight. Notice the colors and textures and allow yourself to move with momentum. Slow things down in a moment of control. Find the ways that you intuitively want to move. And you might find yourself, for whatever reason, insecurity, self-doubt, fear, whatever that internal saboteur will do to get you to not be comfortable, rather to get you to be comfortable rather than uncomfortable. Because if you've done any kind of work, we know that the things that we desire lie on the other side of fear. The places that we're aiming to level up are in the work that we're avoiding. So now more than ever, allow yourself to be empowered to nurture the ways that your body wants to move or not move. If we're unable to find a space where we can empower agency within ourselves, how can we expect to level out the playing field, yeah? And we're all being called right now as a planet to participate in equity. We got to build it for ourselves first so we can viewpoint it and be there available to offer this empowerment and agency to others. A few more cycles of breath, you're almost there. You didn't know you were getting cardio today. Keep your breath. Freedom. Gorgeous. 8, 7, there's no wrong. 6, what stories are you willing to write? What are you willing to take on? 4, 3, 2, start to slow it down in 1. Have a seat on your shins. Hips to your heels. 1 hand to your belly, 1 to your heart. Take a juicy breath in. Fill up your hands with breath. Sigh out of the mouth. You're welcome to make some sound with me. Again, you're muted, but sorry, you got to hear mine. Here we go. Breathe in. Let some stuff go. What do you want? What do you need? What do you deserve? Breathe into it. Make room for that to assimilate. Let it go. Just return to your natural breath. Stay here. And give yourself a few moments to start to input that data. What does it feel like to embody perhaps two different experiences? And you're asked to being grounded in the lower vibration, to find foundation, to find earth, but to also be asked to be malleable and mutable. Nothing really sways you. You're able to surf the waves of intensity as they come along. And so both are necessary in order to find a space and center. The beauty of the duality is that, well, if we go too far into one end, the only option is to go in the other way. And eventually, as we start to swing and yo-yo, we might eventually come into that space of center. Take a deep breath into your hands. Open your mouth, exhale. Beautiful. Slowly blink your eyes open. Reach your arms overhead. Inhale. Exhale, hands to your heart. Come on up to your knees. Draw your legs about hips distance. Some people might enjoy the toes tucked under for some support. Take your right hand to your right heel. Press your butt forward, keeping your hips over your knee, and then reach the left arm up, opening through the heart. Check that the head doesn't lean back, that we're not compressing the neck, but there's a slight tuck of your chin to your chest. Aim to get your heart the highest point of the shape. Think slinky spilling back. Breathe in. As you exhale, dive the heart forward, sit your butt towards your heels, swing around and switch sides. Left hand to your left heel. Reach the right arm up. When I do this, especially since I have socks and I'm on a vinyl fake wood floor, I point my toes on the way down and flex them on the way up. Lift the heart, breathe in. Switch sides, exhale, I point the toes, sit the hips back, swoop, come on up on the breath, inhale. Exhale, little bit of momentum, swoop around. Inhale, heart lifts, hips forward. Exhale, swoop. Few more times, inhale, lift. Let the slinky find more weight, exhale. We move through water to find the arc, inhale. Exhale, lift up. Last one, inhale. Exhale, lift. Come through center slowly, hips towards your heels. You choose hips no wider than, knees rather, no wider than hips distance. You choose pointed toes or flexed feet. Flexed feet will be more supportive for most bodies. As you press your hips forward, drive your hands down in the heels, lift the heart. Full camel pose, Ustrasana. As you lean the weight forward into the knees and you press your hips forward, engage your butt. Engage your upper inner thighs. Engage your navel center and let the heart sing. 2 more breaths in through the nose. Stick out your tongue and roar like a lion. Stretch the throat. This is a cleansing breath for the abdominal fire. 1 more. From your belly button, stick out your tongue, exhale. Slowly draw your butt towards your heels, chin towards your chest, have a seat. Press into hands and feet, tabletop, and give the tops of your feet a little pitter patter onto the ground. Little pitter patter. Beautiful. Okay, tuck your toes, downward facing dog, just a pass through. And so you'll look forward. You'll lift your heels like you're wearing stilettos and take teeny tiny little walks towards your hands. Try to go as far as you can, keeping the whole palm flat. Maybe if it's available in the body, you can step right through. Feet still hips distance, bend your knees. You can use your hands on your legs to slowly roll up, and I mean slowly roll up. Okay, we'll start to play with a 4th plane. So we have our earth, that's green, that's all about weight. and how that impacts the next register of movement, like middle of your body. It's like belly button to knees, that whole area and that plane along your body. So it's not just those body parts, but that space according to your proportions. Like for me, it's like what, 3.5 feet? It's like at that depth is where your water is. On top of that, ribs to shoulders, you have slinky, forward, back, side, side, yeah, and all those textures. Now we start to play with the final movement. That's white, and it has a lift and flying serpentine type of energy in all directions. This way, that way, spiral up and down. So it's more of a vertical trajectory. Let's come back to like you would X, but with your arms down in Tadasana, feet wide. And so we start to play with biscuits again. So just the textures of the feet. It can start by shifting forward and back. This is perfect that we're going into this because it's now like into like animal land. And this song is called Mating Dance. Okay, so you're still just playing biscuits. And then as you get into water, allow the knees and the hips to start to move, but without letting slinky, without letting rib cage get involved. So you can play with how the foot can start to move in the water level as well. Yeah, and so you start to play with different ways to balance. And then the hands can get involved. So you start to play just in the first two textures with hands and feet and hips in water, but staying hands off the ground. And then as you get deep into water, you can allow, without the head and neck and shoulders to get involved, a little slinky in all directions. Yeah, so we're just getting different ways to coordinate. Keep playing all the different ways that can move. So you have 3 levels. Even if the leg gets to slinky height, you know, like développés, or for my friends that like have more dance training, fouette type things, that up and over sensation in the arms, forward, back, side to side. Then keeping all those textures, your head is a balloon, and there's a butterfly inside of the balloon. And this color white has ascension energy. It moves up and down. And so start to move and lead with the crown of your head. And you can play with weight, play with speed, and how much you're willing to surrender to gravity. And trust. Let your body naturally flow. And then just start to walk around your room. Just like aim, no aim. Just start to take in space, no direction. It can figure 8, it can circle, you can walk backwards. But just start to take up space and remove the textures, remove the water, remove the moss, remove the red slinky, remove the white balloon with the butterfly inside of it. And just move forward, back, side to side, switch directions. Now, get your eyeballs really present and let just the movement of your eyeballs start to play with your textures and start to move through all of the ways. So if my eyeballs are up, I have more of that balloon with the butterfly. If my eyeballs are looking towards the ground, I might find myself at the ground more in green textures. So you're letting the direction of the eyeballs be where you fixate your movement and what you allow your body to play with. Legs can stretch. Now really let yourself go here. Eyeballs creating space, shifting weight. Breath is still fluid and active. Keep that going, strong lovers. Maybe we find moments of staccato. You put things away, you start to let your body click and convulse. Like it can be sharp, it can be dynamic. If you have styles of dance that you love, we can start to move into our choreographic zone, playing with all these textures and letting yourself write. Am I feeling a moment of green and weightedness? How do you play with that? And when whatever movement style you want to start to juice it up in, you have that like second range gorgeous, that's more water, that's more fluid. Play with your eyeballs, taking your head to water. How does the head interact with water? And so on and so forth. The springiness, the arches of red in that upper rib cage register. The floatiness of a butterfly flying inside of a balloon. And how would that balloon move and be driven, be flown by the guide of the butterfly? And you have all those textures and all those planes. We're here, we'll say like another minute and a half. Do conserve your energy. So, you know, there's places to play that are slow, that have levels, a more intimate moment, a private moment. What are you saying? What are you writing? What is your body telling you it wants, it needs, and what it deserves? Beautiful. I love what I'm watching. It's so gorgeous. Keep diving in. It can be any freaking thing. If you're in grief, babes, coronavirus is a real fucking thing. This movement that we're in, social justice and change and equity, it's bringing up deep things in everyone, regardless of where you stand on any of it. This is a time for yourself to grow and to heal. Claim it. 30 seconds. What stories are you writing? How are you nurturing the wants, the needs, the things you deserve? 8, 7, start to come into medium tempo. 6, maybe moving more with the water type quality. 4, even slower. 3, 2, and 1. Slowly come into a still stance, low X. Bend the knees as we started, tuck your chin to your chest, inhale. Exhale, slowly start to roll down, let the weight move into your toes, let the arms drape heavy, and then squat, the heels can lift. Breathe in at the bottom. Exhale, start the ascent, as many breaths as you need. Heels ground, legs start to extend, the arms get heavy as the spine rolls up. You'll occupy like anywhere from 3 to 5 breaths to do just one direction. And then you take an inhale to hold at the top when you arrive, and then start on the exhalation. So you'll go through 2 more rounds, moving so slowly. Aim to input the data of all those little stabilizer support muscles along the spine and the back of the joints. So you'll do this 2 times. Your guide to start coming up is on a breath in. To start the descent from standing to roll down is a breath out. Inhale to lift, exhale to lower. 3 to 5 cycles of breath occupies one direction. The slower you move, the more benefit we invite into the nervous system to assimilating all these new textures and grooves. I mean, it might not seem like it, but the work that we're doing does have a lot of science behind it, in the way that we reprogram our neural pathways, the way that we deal with trauma, the way that we heal and empower our creative center. And it's beyond just like the artistry of creation. It's the way that we problem solve. It's the way that we mitigate paths towards solutions. And that shows up everywhere in our lives. All right, you'll stay in a forward fold after the last one. No rush at all. Take your time journeying there. Okay, you'll step your feet a little wider, so they're wider than your hips, wider than your shoulders. Take a bend into your knees and plant your left palm down to the ground. Reach your right arm up to the sky. Breathe in. As you exhale, you can roll out your wrist, or if it's available, wrap that top arm around your back and aim to hook the hand into the inside of your left hip crease. So you're in a bound, half bound, twist, and a forward fold. There's a lot of stuff going on here. Hips are getting a stretch, hamstrings, spine is twisting, top shoulder is opening, and the chest. One more breath in. Gently release back down to center, and you'll switch sides. Right hand at the center, so like under your chin. Little bend in your knees as you open up the left arm. You can stay, you can circle out your wrist, or maybe you try your half bind, inching that left pinky finger toward the right hip crease. Send your butt bones back, lean your heart forward, and twist your chest to the sky. Breathe in, gently fold. From here, separate the feet a little wider, then rotate your heels in, toes out on a diagonal. Bend your knees and come into this juicy squat. All right. So we have some playtime here, folks. So you'll stay here and take a twist. You can drop your left shoulder down, look over the right. And so kind of the basis of allowing yourself to tap into your stories, we're gonna start to play around the room as well. So really anything goes, switch sides. You wanna use your couch, go for it. I have this giant mirror to the left of me. Like the last time I taught this workshop during quarantine, I left sweaty face marks and sweaty hand marks all over the mirror. Like there's nothing, of course, be safe. And don't destroy your house or wherever you are. But if you feel guided as we're moving and doing things creatively to different styles of music, no limits here. Use it to write a story. Let your energy, whatever you want to say, if it's angsty, if it's blissful, if it's silly, if it's hallucinogenic, crazy out there, I'm for it. Yeah? So start to play with some music. If you're not there already, I'm at Tell Them by James Blake. And we're going to do this in little bite-sized chunks, about 2 minutes and break. And do this with a few songs, yeah? And then we'll do one little exploration and a cute cool down meditation. So let it start to play. I'm about a minute into the song. And so we'll just start to explore. You have all your textures. Let's go in 3, 2, I'm about a minute 6 now. Let's go. All right, so let the music guide you and come into your textures. Just start to freeform. You have the level of the ground in green, playing with weight, and noticing those textures, the sensations. You have middle, lower middle register of your legs and hips, that's water and blue fluid. You have the ribs, red, arches, spirals. You have the head, which ascends and moves in all directions. And as these body parts move, as you find all the different ways that you can experience this in those planes of space, what does your body have to say? How does the music change and inform the story that you're writing? What is the relationship between ground, couch, object, wall? Just about another 30 seconds here. Is this a conversation, a monologue, purely a dance, performative experience? Eventually, in the next 2 or 3 breaths, start to come onto 2 feet if you're on the hands or on the ground, and just start to come back to biscuits. Come back to biscuits. Come to your device and switch over to the next song. Actually, let's see, where are we? Yeah, come to the next song, Killing for Love, Jose Gomez. Just go ahead and flip it over. About 2.5 minutes to play. There's textures here. It doesn't have to be go, I want to get everything out of this. It does if that feels intuitive, but you also have your energy here. Sometimes you get excited, but let this be a true listening. What do you want right now? What do you need? And what do you deserve? And what does that look like? It could be if we're here in Musical Theater Land at 3D Theatricals, something like Fosse, where even just the slightest little gesture, a look, is a conversation. So I invite you to play with those levels and the whole spectrum of life, what it is to be human is to have a mind that thinks in limitless ways. We're yeah, right, Este, I have all these blockages and I have my own beliefs and stuff that limit us. When we give the space and create the conditions, we can think in limitless ways. The heart functions in the same way. Yes, we have pain. Yes, people hurt us. Yes, we get embarrassed. Yes, we have shame. We have guilt, all the different things. But so long as we stay bound by them, we're not free. It is necessary to feel the pain, to appreciate the bliss and the joy. That duality swings us back and forth until we learn how to find a place in the center. Your only limits, truly, are the ones that you're continuing to willing to accept, the patterns that keep you stuck. But did we come here to stay stuck? Or did we come here to grow and expand? Be gentle with yourself. About another 40 seconds. Take on your own freedom. What it is to be human is to have a mind that thinks all the crazy things, a heart that feels everything. Soak it all in, it's all here for you. 8, 7, 6, start to put a punctuation mark on this story. 4, close it up. 3, 2, 1, find a moment of stillness. If you need to, take little sways, but just keep it gentle, keep the breath full. If you need to, open mouth exhales are great to reground you. Here's that snow globe moment again. We just shook that thing up. It's almost like, if you love kombucha, I'm a huge booch lover. It's like a really, really set, like a fermented one, and you shake it all up. And then you open up the bottle, what's gonna happen? All that energy on the inside bubbles. But does the bottle care what happens, whether it's contained or whether it's bubbling? No, the bottle itself is still, and a container to hold the experience. When it's calm and cool and contained, and when it's popping off like crazy, the bottle itself doesn't change. That is who you are inside. You're inside. The you is the bottle. Everything else is the booch, your body, your emotions, your mind, your relationships, your career. Let it get as fermented as you want. Deep breath in. Open your mouth. Okay. So it started for me already, Body Strong by Sylvester. Let's go ahead and skip over to Why Don't You by Cleo Soul. So we're just gonna skip a little disco vibe. Sorry if you're a huge disco fan, and sorry if you're a huge Sylvester fan. I love Sylvester as well. But flip over to Cleo Soul, Why Don't You, and almost bring in a quality of just the balloon. And let it be more of a guided, gentler, effervescent type of thing. That's option 1. Option 2, keep it all water. Let the sensuality of the song take over whatever story you want to write here. We'll be here about 2.5 minutes from this point. And remember, the head doesn't have to live in that upper register. It can explore that same quality of butterfly and balloon in registers of red that have more arc, in the fluidity of water. You can ground through the head, ground through the upper registers, and still allow those textures to communicate. First lyrics of the song. Why don't you just let go and quiet down your ego? Body moves you. Spirit moves you. Head stays quiet. Move with the breath. Maybe you make your way onto hands and knees and start to find a feline quality. The ribs and the hips are still in water. The butterfly can still move. We all have this inherent nature within us to create new life. Everybody, regardless of the way that we identify and feel how we embody this case, everybody when it was born was given the capacity to create anatomically a human life. But when we're not using the energy to sling babies left and right, where do you think that creative life force goes? Apply that into your feelings, into the way that you think. A few more seconds here. Beautiful. Take a deep breath in. Open the mouth, exhale. All right. Little bit of shaking the bottle. Start to slowly bring this in. Come into the next song as you're ready. So I want to do one little thing to kind of shake up that bottle a little bit more. We're going to work into your abdominals and into your glutes. And then we're going to have a little dance party, a little expression dance party, as if this wasn't a whole dance party as it is. So come into it. What you need just started by Kate Trinata, and have a seat. If you have like a yoga mat, or you need like a cushion or a blanket, like just a flat blanket under your butt, if you have like a bony tailbone or sitting bones, that might be really, really nice for you to have just in case. Okay, have a seat. Heels on the ground. There is I call this a 3/4 extension in your legs. So you're not fully extended, you just have a quarter bend in your knees. So you're gonna climb the rope, roll back, 3, 2, and 1, roll forward, 4, 3, press into the ground, 2, all the way forward, lower, 4, 3, 2, keep the bend in your knees, lift up, 4, pull, 3, 2, and 1. One more set out, 4, and we'll do it in 2 counts, 2, and 1, pull up, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Now in 2 counts, 2, and 1, come up, 2, and 1. Again, lower down, exhale, come up. Inhale, lower down. Woo, almost there, pull up for 2, 3 more, inhale. Exhale, inhale, exhale. We lower and lift one more time. Inhale for 2, exhale for 2, come on down, heels underneath your knees. Basic gym class crunches in 3, 2, 1. Exhale, you lift and lower. Again, and lower. Exhale and lower. We take a slow march of the legs. You lift your right knee, twist and center. Switch, left knee, center, twist. You can continue with the heels on the ground if you have it available and it doesn't hurt your flexors or your low back. Full bicycle through hollow body. Leg center, twist, 8, center, just 7. You get a break coming up. Keep fighting. Twist and stretch, twist and stretch. 4 more, get up. Inhale, 3 more, squeeze tight. 2 more. Last one, knees to your chest, little rocks to the side. Good job. Alrighty. 2 options. Eyeballs over here. We're coming up to a seat. You can either grab your thighs and roll your spine. This isn't comfortable for a lot of folks. So if that's you, just come in through a fetal position, roll over, and come up to a seat. So you have options. One last little abdominal move and then a stretch before we go into a different dance party. So layer 1 is going to be most accessible for most bodies. Fingertips face forward, hands are behind you, stacking them under your shoulders. As you squeeze your elbows back, lift your chest, you lower down, legs long, lean back, pull in. It's called a suitcase crunch, like you're closing the ends of your suitcase. Open the suitcase, close the suitcase. For most bodies, please keep your knees together. Unless you have injury or pain in your low back, you'll keep your knees hips distance. If you don't want to use the hands, lower down and lift. Lower and lift. Just 30 seconds here. Here we go. Slowly lower. 3, 2, and 1. Exhale, lift 4, 3, or you can do it with me on the hands like this. Again, lower 4, 3, 2, and 1. We're into Dreams, Fleetwood Mac. 3, 2, and 1. 4 more. Slow and controlled. It's a slow burn. 2, and 1. Use your breath. Again, inhale 4, 3, 2. Drive the heels forward. Exhale, pull up. 3, 2 more. Maybe the hands off if that feels like it's available in your body. 2, and 1. Exhale, lift up. 3, 2, 1 more. Inhale, reach. 3, 2, 1. Exhale, pull up. 3, and cross your ankles, hug your knees, lift your chest. Good work. We're done with that stuff. Breathe in. You're like, thank goodness. Exhale, chin to your chest, round your spine. Slowly, if it's comfortable, roll over your shins into tabletop. If that's not comfortable, swing your legs around. Little stretch for the belly. Tuck the toes in to lift the heart. Exhale, round the spine. Again, arch the spine. Inhale. Round the middle ribs. Exhale. Do this 2 more times on your own, allowing the connection of the ground and the breath to give you what you need, to nurture the wants, the needs, and the things that you deserve. Beautiful. Tuck your toes, come in a downward facing dog. Lift your hips, extend your legs, and take a slow walk of your dog, bending one knee to the right, bending one knee to the left. And keep that slow, slow moving groove. Big exhale. Beautiful. Separate your feet a little wider, wider than your hips. Bend your knees and walk your hands all the way back. Beautiful. Bend your knees. Take your time rolling up. Occupy 3 cycles of breath to 5 cycles of breath. The slower you move, again, the more benefits to inputting all of those little micro muscles, stabilizers, creating a deeper connection to our functions of the joints. Once at the top, roll the shoulders back a few times. No rush at all, babes. So just giving you preview of coming attractions. Nice, and then roll it forward. So sorry if you're a Fleetwood Mac fan. Switch over to the next song. Alrighty, so we have Bambro, Koyoganda by Bonobo. Yes, they're coming out with new music still. I love it. Okay, this has 2 grooves. It has one main beat, and then when it comes in, it has a double time clap. Ba, 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 ba. You can choose to play big groove or quick in any way that rhythm sees fit for you. Think of this as an experience that's boiling, yeah? You were in water and you were simmering for kind of a minute, but then now we hit that threshold. The water is at 180 degrees and we are boiling. What does the boil look for you? You have all the textures to play with. Green earth, blue water, red arches, butterfly balloon that's white, and all the textures. It has one big swoop, it has a double time swoop. It's bubbling, it's effervescent, it's almost drum-like, almost tribal-like. Maybe turn up the music. I'm gonna stay silent for this one. It's 2.5 minutes from here. Crank up the música. And clock is on. She builds, don't worry. Again, you have the full use of your room, objects, walls, ground. You're boiling within this world. What burns? And we all know that there's a certain threshold of every organic piece of matter on this planet. You heat it up a certain amount, it starts to transform. Where are the changes and how do you interact with those changes? Five, 4, 3, punctuate it. 2, and 1. Slow down, catch your breath. Great time to take a quick sip of water. Sip of water. Maybe a quick check-in. If you're feeling so guided, you can unmute yourselves for a real quick second. Hello, we're like, yeah, good job, or thumbs up, or whatever you're feeling.
Hi, Estee, yay, I'm having fun.
Hey, yay, so glad, I love that. How you doing, Ariana?
Oh, I'm good. Thank you.
Amazing. Great work. Take this as a breather. We're going to switch over to the next song. I think we have like 2 more little explorations and we'll start to cool this down. 2 more light explorations. Okay. So I want us to go to the 2 songs over, Espíritu de Protección. And so this is just going to be a different experiment. We did all of this work in our bodies to create this muscle, mind, body connection. But now I'm giving you the parameters of just your screen. You have a frame and you have different ways to play with textures. What objects are you going to find some kind of something with and play with the different things that you have? This is now a dance in the levels of your frame. You have earth, you have water, you have your heart, red fire, and you have that spirit energy, that effervescence. It's also chakra cleansing if you didn't know. Okay, so let this be more a film experience. Have fun with it. Textures and beats and silly things. If you feel guided, play with your visuals here. So now we're thinking outside the box of our body. Nice, Ariana. Yeah, Gretch. Beautiful. Play. Ooh, yes. How do we play with even those parameters on camera? Gorge. Gorge, I love what I'm seeing. Yes. Live that smile, Milena. What is that joy riding in the body and how does that interact on the camera, in the frame? This little box right here, you have your own proscenium to play. Yeah. Hilarious. So great. Anything goes. Pew, pew, pew. So fun. A. I love that. We got a walking little cup over here. Traveling mouse. Go, Gigi. Gigi's playing in her structures there, in her levels. So great, friends. About another minute. Really go for it. Think outside the box. Sanitize those hands. 20 seconds. 20 whole seconds. Nice. Beautiful. You know, we're also here on Brady Bunch. If you want to hit your gallery view, maybe you start interacting. I got Gretchen behind me, Ariana to my right, Gigi on the corner. Hey, over there, Milana. Barry, I see you down there. Hey, Peyton. Keep it going. 8, 7, punctuate it. 6, last thing you want to say. 5, it's like one final message. 4, 3, you're signing it out. And 2, wear your sunscreen, kids. And 1, time, slow it down. Great work. Great work. Let's start to like, for realsies, slow this down. So come into, it's the Sweet the Breeze, 3rd to last song by Dram. Nice. Come back into X pose. We're gonna do a quick little cool down, a very brief meditation, and a little like Q&A if you would like to chat for a little bit. Great work. Just find an X pose, do nothing here, find some stillness, and just breathe. And perhaps moving away, starting to peel back the connections that we found between our green moss, our blue water, our red heart, and the fire that ignites our true center, and the effervescence, the flight of our divinity. It's white and shimmery. Take a big breath in, big breath out. Reach your right leg to the sky, inhale. Exhale, bend your right knee and then cross it on top of your left thigh for figure 4. You can keep your left foot on the ground. This is the base layer, the most accessible for most bodies. If you want to take this up for a deeper, intense stretch, you can thread the arms through the space between your legs and grab the left thigh. feel free to move your little rock side to side. You can bend and extend that bottom leg. Wherever you are, find a strong flex of your top ankle, your right ankle. That will protect the knee as we deepen the compression in that joint. I'm taking one more inhalation. Big exhalation. Come into half happy baby. Place the sole of your left foot on the ground and start with your right hand. I'll face the camera. Start with your right hand to the back of the right knee while keeping the shoulders and head grounded. If it's available, grab for the right pinky toe side of your foot without lifting the head and shoulders. Final layer is to extend the left leg to the ground. Breathe into the right hip flexor where you're getting the perhaps a little pinch, a warm sensation as we compress the joint. Taking one more breath in. Take your left hand onto the outside of your right thigh, the leg that's in the sky, and then guide that right leg across for a twist. Right arm onto the ground and anchor your shoulder. You'll know you've gone too far the twist if your right shoulder's popping off the ground. To adjust for that, just scoot your bum over towards the right a few inches and you might get your shoulder down. Find the spot where you can add a little bit of pressure on your left hand to increase the load of stretch. Breathe into the side body. A little sigh out of your mouth. Allowing the voice to massage the spirit. If you're feeling like on this side I have an old surgery scar that likes to get triggered, it's not always the most fun, but when I do allow my voice to express that sensation, I find that I release more. So you can groan, you can moan, you can scream, cry, laugh, whatever you need. You're muted anyway. Finish up your last breath here. And then breathe it out. Slowly coming back to center, drawing your knees to your chest. Take a gentle roll to the sides of your hips, massaging your sacrum. And then figure 4 on the second side. We'll take the same 3 stretches. You can start on the ground. You can thread the needle and interlock your fingers around the right thigh. If you're taking that version and you remember which grip you had, find the awkward grip. So the other thumb is at the top, the other pinky is at the bottom. You can play little shifts to the side, bend, extend the bottom leg. Wherever you are, take a strong flex into your top ankle, your left ankle. 2 really generous cycles into the belly of the left outer hip. The meatiest part of your left hip is getting the stretch, the outer hip. 1 more breath in. Half happy baby on the exhalation. Start right foot on the ground, left hand to the outside of your thigh. And if you can keep your head and shoulders on the ground, grab closer towards the foot, any amount. Right leg can stay or start to slide forward onto the ground. Half happy baby. Keeping the breath full and deep. Leaning into the warm pinch, the warm sensation in the left inner hip. Last breath in. Exhale, guide the right hand to the outside of your top leg and take that leg across the body. Shoulders stay grounded. Adjust your bum to the left any amount for more grounding. And then if it's comfortable for the neck, look over towards the left. 3 really luxurious cycles of breath here, occupying more space in the lungs every set. And trusting your body's own intuitive intelligence to heal you, to restore you, to bring you back to homeostasis after all of that effort. Last one, fill up. Hollow your lungs. And then come back to center, hug your knees to your chest. 1 final move, yoga style. We have a brief Shavasana, corpse's pose. It's pretty much just like you're lying on your back. Your legs are forward. I'm here in the shape as a reference if you need a visual. But the arms have some air outside the bodies. The palms can either face up as a gesture of receiving or surrendering. Or you can bring your palms face down onto your body, one to heart, one to belly. And that's more of a gesture of grounding within yourself. If you're still feeling a little lost or a little overwhelmed or overexcited from all of that nervous system activation, then hands on the body will bring you back to you. And wherever you are, taking one generous breath in, one more sip at the top, open your mouth. Enjoy just a few moments of rest, and I'll guide you out shortly. When we watch, we remain riddles to be solved. When we enter, we become songs to be sung. When life feels far off, remember that a flute is just something hard with holes in it until it's played. So too is the heart. As matches are just sticks until they are lit, as ice is not quenching until it's thawed. Questions and problems remain obstacles until they are lived. In this way, the life of every soul waits like sheet music to be played. What good are we if never played? Allow your next breath to come in a little heavier and start to discover some gentle movements in your hands and feet. Slowly involve the head and neck. Open and close your jaw and stretch the face. And then, like you're making a couple snow angels, you'll start to swim the arms back and draw the legs forward a few times, eventually landing in one long, big stretch, like you're just waking up in the morning. Inhale, reach back, legs forward. Exhale, roll over onto any side, come to a fetal position. And slowly press yourself up to a comfortable seat. Pressing your palms together at your heart with your eyes closed. Just take a moment to observe all of the shifts that you cultivated. This is all the results of you. The courage it takes to show up and to do something perhaps outside your comfort zone. The discipline to put in the effort. The trust to allow yourself to be led, and the grace to make your own decisions in spite of that guidance. And ultimately, what you feel right here and now is the highest expression of humility and creativity. Your willingness to put aside your ego and expectations and to let your inner masterpiece shine. Thank you so much for sharing your beautiful energy with me this morning. In love, I bow to each and every one of you. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. What a beautiful session. How does everybody
my
feel?
loves.
Right?
Amazing,
So
so good.
Oh, I can't wait to
I'm
see this again.
Yes, so happy to share this with you. This is part of my process. If you don't know much of who I am or my history with 3D Theatricals, I've been in shows and I've assisted a lot of shows, actually, like with TJ. Those of you that know, he usually does one show a year. And I've been fortunate enough to have assisted Dana and co-choreographed stuff with Dana and with Gretchen on many, many shows, and a lot of shows that happen to be more character driven, like The Parade and Ragtime. And so where there is more emotion and writing in the body, I like to put myself in a process of, you know, we spend so much time out there with so much shit and so much pressure outside of ourselves that it's so easy to get lost in the periphery, easy to get lost in someone's idea of what my type is and the way I move and stuff. And so when I can allow myself and my body specifically to free itself up, then it doesn't matter what character I'm tuning into. My acting first, I move into my emotion and how that moves into my body. And the way that I work, not necessarily the way that Dana works, this type of exploration of just letting my body speak. It doesn't matter who I am. This is a shell. It's an avatar. And so I offer these tools to help you dive into your divinity, your creativity, your masterpiece. And if you have any desire to be a creative, whether an actor, a writer, a choreographer, we have these tools to let our bodies tell the stories for us. And for me, that's how I tap into my art. And whether I'm dancing or acting or singing, is giving my body the freedom and the permission to do what it wants to do. So thank you.
Oh, it's beautiful. It is. And what you shared with us is so lovely. The fact that you would share your time and your gifts with us today is just such a beautiful gift. Does anybody have any questions that you'd like to ask or anything you want to discuss? Gretchen, go ahead and mute yourself.
I just wanted to say something about you that I absolutely adore you. You are just so clear, and you seriously make everyone feel so safe, and that's what I loved about creating with you and Dana, was that we could literally just play and have fun and let our bodies move the way we wanted to, and then find really magical moments in there. And today you kind of like reignited that energy in me to like do that. So thank you. That means a lot. I love you, Este.
Gretchen, I love you too. My pleasure. That's what I'm about. If y'all know, I'm a yoga teacher and a spiritual leader. I'm a Reiki master, and I do like life coaching and stuff. I feel like it's all the same. Like I wouldn't be the artist that I am, the creator that I am, to be able to have Gretchen is a whole universe, Dana is a whole universe, TJ is a whole universe. To do my work, to listen to myself, to respect myself, to respect others, and to co-create. And Gigi, thank you. This is a gift of love. I just love 3D so much. This community has done so much for me as an artist, as a creator, as just a human to human. It's been so wonderful, and I'm happy to share this with y'all.
And
thank you.
No, thank you. And the human to human thing is so.
I have some background. I went to AMDA briefly in Hollywood. Okay. And so I did get some stuff through Alexander Technique, but in my exploration, I did a lot of concert dance as well. This mainly comes from some of my roots in Gaga Technique, if you know it, from Shiva Dance Company. So it's kind of based in my experience with Danielle over at Sweat Spot, which used to be open, and sadly we just got news this week that space closed. So I'm happy to share the roots that I got, and from that tradition, from that lineage, be it virtually with my extended dance community and artist community. But yeah, Gaga's a huge influence for my creative process.
Okay, thank you.
Amazing. Does anybody else have any questions before we wrap up? No? Well, now, how would we find you on Instagram or Facebook?
So you can find me on Instagram. I'll put it on the chat as well, but for the video, it's at Namaste, Namaste, a period, a dot, and then Este, Este. Okay. So Namaste, Aste, period, Este. And that's my handle for Instagram. I believe my Facebook is my first and last name, which is here on my little thing. I think that also shows up on the Zoom recordings. So it's Estevan Valdes. It's my headshot. So, you know, get this mug. It doesn't have a mustache on that one, but yeah. And I mostly use Instagram. That's like my main mode. Otherwise, email, which is namaste.este@gmail.com.
At Gmail, wonderful. Well, you are just pure joy and light, and I can't begin to tell you how much we appreciate you sharing your gifts again with us today. I bet you everybody, what a great way to start a Friday, start a weekend. On behalf of my entire team at 3D Theatricals, I want to thank you for joining us for this session of 3D and You. We love you. We can't wait till we gather again and back in the theater, see everybody up on stage, right? Until then, we're happy to provide these sessions. Listen, we're a nonprofit organization. It's not required by any means, but should you feel so inclined, you could go to our website at 3dtheatricals.org and make a donation. Other than that, hey, listen, we've got a great afternoon at 2 o'clock. TJ will be interviewing Bronson Pinchot. Have a great afternoon, everybody. Take care.
Thank you so much.
Bye-bye.
Bye, Estee. Love you. Thank you.
Bye,
Yes, it was
Gretchen.
so nice to meet you.